Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, hi, I'm Natasha. If you're not new, thank you so much for your support and welcome back. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about my boarding school experience, specifically my high school experience, because that's where it's more interesting and people like dwelling on that part of life. So my high school experience obviously is from 10th grade to 12th grade, and I was at Hillcrest Secondary School. It wasn't much of a big difference for me because I was at that same school for my grade 8 and grade 9. So I just like went back to the same environment, just some new faces because some new people came. So honestly, if I say I was having a hard time, I wouldn't be telling the truth because most of the hard times I had at that school are in grade 8 and grade 9, because adapting to that change from coming from like a primary school, the schooling was kind of like, yeah, difficult. So I went there in 10th grade, term 1, from the grade 9 holiday, of course. I was put in the same class with practically everyone I was with in grade 9, because my class used to take design and technology, and yet again for high school there was only one class that used to take design and technology, so they just decided to put most of the people who are in that class for ninth grade back together for 10th grade. So it wasn't very different because in 10th grade there were just some new people who yet again adapted to the members I was with in ninth grade. So I was like put right back with the same classmates I was with. And just the one thing that changed was the dormitory. I was put like in a different dorm, and that really broke my heart because I really wanted to go back to the house I was in, but it was what it was. Anyway, so yeah, I was put in that dorm and I just got over it, and I started adapting as well, because most of the people who are still at that school in ninth grade were brought back to 10th grade, and we were many grade 10s in that dormitory. So I actually got used to it and adapted, and I didn't really have a hard time because in the second term I was made a dome captain for that specific wing. And at that school, when you're made a dome captain, you assign portions for your friends to clean, than so meaning you won't clean anymore, you won't work anymore. And yeah, so that it wasn't really hard for me because in the second term I practically stopped working, and I kind of tried to maintain that position as a dom captain, and sometimes obviously I used to fall off and get right back to that position, but most of the time I was a dom captain, and I never really found the cleaning part and the working part really hard because of that certain position. So mostly there wasn't much bullying when I was in 10th grade. Most of the bullying was there in 8th and 9th grade. I don't even know if you can call it bullying because it was actually happening to every single pupil. It was just something that the prefects used to do to every single grade 8 or grade 9. So I don't know if you can call it bullying or just them trying to show us that they are the oldest people of the school, obviously. So yeah, I don't know about the boys side, but for the girls side, bullying wasn't that much of a thing. It would just be like, most of the time the girls in the higher grades would just try to show you that they're superior, but the bullying thing, not so much. It wasn't really that much. I don't know about the boys side, but most of the impact for bullying, I think I can say it was mostly experienced 8th and 9th grade. And even that bullying wasn't like bullying that would really make someone sad, or it wasn't like hurtful bullying. It was just like bullying as a whole, as a group. Like the prefects would try to instill fear in us as the young ones. So it wasn't necessarily like bullying, like mocking and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know about the boys side, but for the girls side, bullying wasn't that much of a thing. But either ways, be it boys or girls side, bullying is not a good thing, and you shouldn't be doing that to people's children, because you don't know what or how much pain they may go through after that. You may think it's just a joke, but it's not a joke, and you don't know how that person's child is going to be afterwards. So bullying is not a good thing. No one should do it to anyone's child. Glad it wasn't that much of a big thing, but you just know how the administration would call, like if you send a young people to fetch some water for you to take a bath, because the showers at my school will only work when the pressure comes. If the pressure of the water is not reaching your dormitory, then it is what it is. You have to go and fetch water. So maybe if a person in the 12th grade, a sugo, maybe sends a person in a younger grade to fetch some water for them to bath, it would be called bullying. So that's what I think they would refer to as bullying. But otherwise, mocking kind of bullying, like stuff like that, that would depict pain or hurt in someone else's child, like that's not right. And that's all. That's what I can say about bullying. We really didn't get much of that, in my opinion. I didn't get much of bullying. Remember when we started learning, like in the 10th grade, new subjects, biology, physics, chemistry, stuff like that. I remember my favorite science was physics. I really, really loved it until I went into 11th grade, and it just went haywire. Everything just went haywire. And yeah, I think at that point my favorite subject was biology, but my first favorite subject was physics when we first started learning in 10th grade. And it wasn't that hard to adapt to my classmates because they were literally the same people I was with in 8th and 9th grade. There were just some new faces that obviously we tried to welcome, and it was very, very easy because they clearly also adapted to how my class used to behave. And you know how people always say my class was the worst class in the whole school? When I say my class was the worst class in that specific intake, or rather in that specific grade, be it 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade, my class was still rated the worst class in terms of behavior. And I just don't understand, because honestly, our grades were good. Everyone's grades were good in my class. It was just rated as the most class with naughty people, people who don't come for lessons, because in 12th grade we literally used to be just like 10 people in class. The total number of people in my class was 36, and in 12th grade it would just be 10 people, 9 people. It actually became a normal thing. So our class had good grades, but it was the naughtiest class. People really used to do whatever they feel like doing. Yeah, but otherwise, the people were good. I really liked my classmates. They make people feel welcome, and honestly, their personalities are just okay. Their personalities were really good and nice. So yeah, 11th grade, um academically it wasn't very, very good, in my opinion. It wasn't very, very good for me because I I think some things are just kind of like difficult. There were more topics in biology, more new things in physics, and just some things changed. So academically, it wasn't my best year. Yeah, for high school, it wasn't my best year. But otherwise, one thing I can say is you shouldn't give up, and you shouldn't depress yourself to say you won't get any better in this subject. Because I've actually heard some people not count specific subjects in um not count specific subjects for them to write in their grade 12 exams. And honestly, that's not good, and that's not right for you. Who knows if your career is actually supposed to help you through that subject? Because I was so bad in physics, but honestly I didn't let my guard down, and I actually just encouraged myself. I prayed more, I studied more. Just study. Stop trying to discourage yourself. Go and study and gain some interest in that subject. Because honestly, if you don't have interest in that subject, you hate the teacher, you don't like hearing anything about that subject, honestly it won't change anything. You remain in that same position. I just started putting more effort in it, and I actually gained back the love that I had for that subject, and I actually still have. I gained back that love, and honestly till the I wrote my grade 12 examinations and I had a 1 from that subject, and I'm so grateful. I thank the Lord. I got a 1 from that subject, and the highest I would get from that subject would be like a 6 or a 5. It was really bad. Like I even lost interest in the subject when I actually liked it and it was actually my favorite subject. But honestly, don't depress yourself, don't give up, just keep on trying to gain back interest in that subject. And honestly, you'll be shocked how much interest you actually have in it. Don't And honestly, I've also noticed if you don't like a teacher of a certain subject, you just won't have interest in that subject. So I don't know if I can say try your best to start interacting with that teacher and just try your best to start enjoying their lessons for you to at least have even the tiniest interest in that subject. Yeah, I think that's what I can say on the part for my studying and my lessons. And yeah, also just try to find a good way in which you can in which you prefer to study, and when you've actually noticed yourself that you understand things more. If you study well in the afternoon, try to find the perfect time to study in the afternoon. If you study better at night, don't keep yourself way too busy in the afternoon, because you're going to doze off and sleep when you actually study better at night. So just try to find a good schedule for yourself, set a timetable, divide your time nicely. Like this really helps. Divide your time nicely. Don't be reckless with your school life, and just don't give up. So this other thing people like talking about, considering boarding schools, satanism. The first thing they think of when you talk about the boarding school satanism, there's satanism everywhere. You can literally be walking in the street and you walk right past a satanist. There's satanism everywhere. I think people are just really scared because you may be living in the same dormitory or in the same room as a satanist. I think that's what people are really scared about. But what are you afraid of? You shouldn't be scared or afraid, or that shouldn't hinder you from going to a boarding school because of that. Because you are a child of God, you're not supposed to fear, especially if you have faith. Just always pray and always have faith, knowing that the Lord is with you. So yes, that's what I can say on that aspect and on that point. Just have faith, knowing that wherever you go with Jesus. Yeah.
I just wanna chill and feel safe, yeah. I just wanna chill and feel safe, yeah.